Welcome back. Well, continuing our focus, taking a look at that jailbreak in Akure, the Ondo State capital, and where it was reported that about 175 people escaped. Well, now we hear them say that about 49, even though we have to confirm that, have been recaptured. But as you've seen in that welcoming slide, Kaide Williams joins us now. He's of the Prison Rehabilitation Mission International. Thank you for coming on again today.
Nice meeting you.
Well, looking at this jailbreak, it's not the first, not the second, and people always ask themselves this question. First of all, were you even surprised when you heard of this particular jailbreak?
I was not surprised.
Why?
Because I know that our prisons are very porous.
Very porous.
Very, very.
Even though this one is said to be medium security.
Yes, this was supposed to be one of the model. It's one of the new prisons. It's not the old one.
This is one of the new prisons?
Yes, yes.
You're kidding me.
It's supposed to be one of the model ones. And that is why it was not fenced by wall. It's barbed wired. So when we are talking, and they have what we call the armed squad men, the prison's armed squad men. So you can see.
Are you sure they were on duty on this day?
Definitely, they should. In prisons? Are they on leave? Are they on sabbatical?
It looks as if they were, if you saw what happened there, because
yes.
How come none of these guys were apprehended or challenged?
That was what baffles me. Because they've invested on the armed squad men to be able to face it. Maybe they were not properly equipped that day, or something is wrong with the command there.
So this is the new prison?
This is the new prison. This is what we call a model prison in Nigeria today.
Model.
We have one in Maiduguri, Borno.
Oh dear, I'm trying to look well, because how can this be said to be new?
I've been there. I know what I'm saying.
You say it's new. I mean, how new will new be?
New in the sense that when you talk in terms of prisons in Ibadan, prisons in Lagos, even is better. It's supposed to be better than maximum security here.
This medium security prison?
Structure. Yes. Is that structure? That's what.
But they're quite old now, because I mean the paint doesn't look like it was just put there.
Well, that is the problem of the prisons.
How many years are we looking at in terms of, maybe at some point they were the model prisons, but it's been some years now, hasn't it?
It cannot be more than 15 to 16 years now. And that should be new, because compared with Ibadan, which is 18 or something. You understand? So, one, the prisons in Nigeria today are very porous.
All of them?
Almost all.
Almost.
Tell me which of the prisons is not porous.
Which prison did we visit? Was it in Akwa Ibom State?
Akwa Ibom State, yes.
It wasn't looking that porous.
Because the governor of Akwa Ibom was giving them support.
Oh.
Look at the maximum prison, Lagos, where you have trailers parking very close to the prison, the maximum security prison. They have their stations there. It's recently when there was some, I think, argument that the controller started getting them out of that place. So when you are talking of prison, there must be adequate security. How can people, about 30 of them, invade a prison and went away without any challenge?
In fact, when they came, we understand that they first of all cleared off the street lights, demobilized them to make sure nobody sees through, and then they tried the gates, it didn't work, they blew up the fence. And look at that man, that small hole. How could 175 people get out from that hole?
There are more to what we are seeing. That is what they are showing us.
Takes two to tango.
Yes, there must be something. And this type of raid cannot take place without an insider. Two, I saw in the paper this morning that 49 or so have been rearrested. Is it true that they were rearrested, or those that refuse? Because some inmates out of 175 may not want to go. Because those that were targeted, because we must first of all ask ourselves, why are they attacking that prison? Yeah. What is the purpose? Akure prison, what do they call it? Is so isolated. Unless we want to know how many hardened, dangerous and notorious criminals are in that prison.
We understand that when they came, they were calling out some names.
Yes. What are the offenses of those people that they call their names? We need to investigate. We don't need to attach this to terrorism. It doesn't have the face of a terrorist. it has the face of an organized crime.
So your comments support that of the is it the Commissioner of Police in the state, that this has nothing to do with terrorism, that this is just a jailbreak?
I agree with him on that. But I still believe that the prison can handle this on their own, because that is why the armed squad men in the Nigerian prison service were trained.
So there are questions for the armed squad men, because if it's just a jailbreak, and you say, look, this would have happened with an insider. So somebody somewhere knows something.
Something is...
Because the key people who they targeted to set free perhaps are still at large.
Definitely. Those crowd that followed those people were just a makeup. Those are not the real people. And they will still get more of them.
Like
because
disguise.
Some of those that went out are going to voluntarily return back. Because they know some of them are serving very less term of imprisonment. So what's the need of escaping? So they have their focus and they've gotten what they want. But they have to use some people to fence themselves. And that is why they took almost 175 prisoners.
So you're suggesting that the people that left did not necessarily say, oh, this is a gaping hole, let me escape. You think that they were forced to escape?
They may not even force them. You see, prison is a way when you just say, okay, what is happening? Some will escape to save their soul. Because if they refuse, we don't know what really happened. The picture, I am trying to ask some questions. What was the real action that took place there?
Maybe we should let you see this report
Please,
again.
I would have loved to see that.
So that when we look at this,
then we can...
Let's see what we can piece together.
Exactly.
Can we roll the tape, please?
The gaping hole through which 175 inmates of the Olokuta medium security prison Akure fled to freedom. Bullet holes in the metal doors and shell casings strewn all over tell the story of a daring and violent prison invasion from outside.
They came with explosives and guns. And, it's an unusual attack. We had one who's in hospital right now.
The attackers had evidently stormed the prison's premises, blasting away the padlocks securing the gates. They then used improvised explosive devices to blow a hole just below the metal bars of the window. Prison officials demonstrate how the convicts climbed through. The police spokesperson says the incident is being investigated.
I'm assuring you that the top security agents will meet, and I know that they will be brought to book by grace of God. Nobody was killed. The incident has nothing to do with terrorists or Boko Haram. It's just a jailbreak.
It's a mystery how armed men so easily overran a secure correctional facility and freed such a large number of inmates with little or no resistance.
There you go.
Yeah, I think without mind saying what, how would 175 inmates escape through that small hole? For how many hours are they going to take that hole? It will take them a very long time, because you can see the prison officer squeezing himself. So definitely, I am sure it is not that old that all the 175 that escaped passed through. I want you to see it that way. This is a make-up case to defend their incompetency.
In spite of the training, investment, and
it's an incompetent action for you to now come out and give an excuse to the nation that 175 convicts or awaiting trial passed through that small hole. Some may pass through, but others must have been released through the main door.
Through the main door?
Definitely. There is a cover-up somewhere because of their job, which I don't blame them. They normally, somebody who is having a fear that, but if we are honest, so that we can take care for the next, this is not the first jailbreak.
Yeah.
This is not the second one. And there are more that may still come if care is not taken. If we allow the prisons to be so porous.
How do we go about stopping this porosity in our prisons?
One, you see, issues like these should have been properly looked into from the angle of the inmates. There are what we call prisoners' informants. You see, prisoners used to have a sort of government themselves inside the prison. If there is proper reformation, rehabilitation going on, there would have been an informant from the prison who would have informed the controller of prison as that something is going on. I'm telling you, because what happened, some people inside must also have been planning along with those who came from outside.
Are you implying that there's no proper reformation going on in our prisons?
There is nothing like reformation going on.
No relationship between the wardens and the prisoners?
Because the wardens that you want to train the people, they are suffering from inferiority complex. You can't compare the Nigerian police, Nigerian army, Nigerian navy, Nigerian air force with the Nigerian prison staffs. There is the inferiority complex worrying the warders. Not that it's worrying them. It's a stigma that has been transferred from the inmates to the prison authority.
How?
Yes? Okay. Take for example, we've had so many police officers who has been one way or the other appointed either as a minister, appointed either as a governor in those days when even the military, as any prison controller general. I'm not even talking of state controllers, being appointed into a place, a position of authority with significance. Just mention one of them.
You think that will help?
You say, that will help because that will boost their morale, that we are part of it. If they are holding security meeting in states, prison officers were excluded before. Until sometimes in Lagos, when they decided to bring them in, they were not allowed to sit down with other security officers. The police, I don't think that's the commissioner. It shouldn't be the commissioner. For him to jail, he said just a jailbreak. Just that language is not. So if maybe he's the PRO, and if he's the PRO, he is not even telling us what he has seen. I believe that if they allow a commission of inquiry to come up, some doors of the inmates were opened. I am telling you.
Because 175
cannot pass through that place.
That's a huge
for how many minutes? For how many hours?
Maybe they open the doors inadvertently. I mean, because if you hear something is going on the inside of the prison, chances are that the prison warders will want to come and see what's going on, and before you know what's happening, people have another escape route. It's
possible, but definitely I'm assuring you that that place is too narrow to have allowed. Is it 175?